guys, it's Katie from Without a Crystal Ball. How are you guys? I am, if you're new to this channel, welcome. If you are a regular subscriber, welcome back. If you are new to this channel, you maybe don't know, but we have been covering the stories related to Aaron Carter on our channel. It's been a wild few months of him going on Instagram and going on live and making a lot of claims about a lot of people in his life. He has claimed that his sister Leslie repeatedly did things to him that were inappropriate as a child. He has called out his older brother Nick for doing things to women that were violations of the law. He has also claimed that he is going to move to Canada, that he has $1 bajillion. He's had a GoFundMe because he says his family is going to put him in a conservatorship. His older brother Nick and his twin sister Angel have taken out and successfully won year-long restraining orders from him due to his erratic behavior. He has been very busy kind of throwing everyone under the bus and claiming he has cancer, claiming he's saving his mother, claiming his mother is on drugs, drinking, pugs, a trip across the country to Florida to go get his mom. It's been a mess. And quietly, his family, sisters and brother, have been sitting sort of watching from a distance. Nick and his wife Lauren have not really said a whole lot. Lauren actually spoke out about a week ago talking with Galvin TV, a Instagram and YouTube vlogger that kind of covers a number of different topics. And Lauren dropped some bombs about how Aaron had been accused of sending text messages to a girl that was 15 years old, and he knew at the time that she was 15, and he continued doing it anyway. Shane Coyle, who was friends with Aaron, then confronted Aaron about those photos. Aaron admitted that he had sent them, but that he was going to take care of it. First he was hacked, then somebody else sent them, then it was she was not underage, then it was, oh, Jason set me up, and then he finally admitted to doing it. All along, all of this, a lot of people have grown more and more concerned about his welfare. He lost in court a couple weeks ago in both California and in Las Vegas. His sister, Angel, was granted a 1-year restraining order against him, along with his brother, Nick, who lives in Las Vegas with his wife and children. He was also granted a year-long restraining order. As a part of the restraining order, Aaron is required to surrender his firearms, and that has had him angry. Well, one of the siblings has been really silent, and that is his older sister, Bobby Jean, or BJ. There are a number of kids in the family. There was Nick, BJ, Leslie, Aaron, and Angel. So Leslie passed away from an overdose a couple years ago, and Aaron dropped a bomb a couple months ago and alleged that his sister had actually been raping him as a child. Well, his sister BJ, Bobby Jean, she came forward yesterday and she said all of it was a lie. In fact, she had a lot of things to say about all of the allegations that Aaron has been making. I should note that Bobby has had her own run-ins with the law. She was recently arrested in 2017 for a DUI. She had another arrest in the early 2000s. She's battled alcoholism and other issues. And she is not without her own skeletons. However, there hasn't been a lot of issues related to violence or anything like that related to Bobby Jean. And let's be honest, this whole family has had issues. Nick has had issues. Nick has been arrested. There's just been, and their mother is an alcoholic, admittedly. She admitted that this year, along with his father, who died several years ago, who was also an alcoholic. So this family has a history of addiction. And Jane, the mother, is currently battling her own issues with alcoholism. So this is going to be an interesting take because Bobby, she said she just couldn't stop. She couldn't bite her tongue any longer. She had to speak out because she said that she would not allow her deceased sister's name to be dragged through the mud. in this very long interview, I'm only going to show you a few clips, but in this interview, BJ says that a few things. Aaron's father was never in the military for 25 years. She says that that's a claim he has made. He was kicked out after a year because he was selling drugs. Another claim that she says that he made is that he takes care of his mother. She says that's not true. She says that she actually lives right next door to her mother and has been taking care of her mother for years. In fact, she almost had to get a restraining order out against her mother for what her mother has been doing. She's also been taking care of her mother's dogs. Another thing that they talked about was that when they were on the doctors, Aaron was supposed to split the money with his mother, but he didn't. Apparently, he actually took the money and used it to buy firearms. She says that her brother never inherited any firearms from his dad. In fact, she said that when their father died, she got a toaster and like a banana hammock, you know, those little hammocks that you can put bananas in. That was it. She said he was married at his time, and his wife, his then estranged wife, took everything. She said that the family wasn't even able to get his body when he passed away. So any sort of insinuation that he inherited anything from his father, BJ says, is false. She also says that the allegation that he is glomming onto Aaron along with about Nick with a woman named Melissa Schumann, that Nick allegedly raped her years ago, she says that's a lie as well. She says that Nick has never been violent with women. He is a very gentle soul who has always been very kind to women. She said that Melissa was a hoe that was running around and trying to get with all the boy bands, and there might have been a consensual issue, a consensual interaction with Nick, but she said that she was always around and there was definitely nothing non-consensual about it, and that maybe because she hadn't been in the limelight for a while, she used that time to gain clout off of Nick. Well, here is the biggest one that she's going to talk about, and I want to share this with you right now. She talks about this issue twice, but she actually claims, and this is a doozy, that it wasn't Leslie that was actually molesting Nick or Aaron. It was the other way around. Aaron was molesting Leslie, and it was a family secret that had been kept for years, and they had been keeping her quiet due to these issues. So hold on, I'll show you.
Let's put it this way, honey.
The truth of it is, it didn't happen the way that he said it did, okay?
Aaron states that his sister...
blackmail involved with it because Aaron knew that he was the moneymaker and the golden child and Leslie was the bad one, and nobody would believe her, and he wouldn't leave her alone, and she was tormented by it. And so you read between the lines, you know what I mean?
Aaron states...
I cannot physically fucking say it, you know what I mean?
Aaron states, here, let's put it this way. Aaron states that his deceased sister, Leslie, raped him and molested him for years.
The other way around.
Okay. And that's what is so important for people to know.
I found out it took me hours to get it out of her. And it was like hitting a brick wall. And he's always been so emotionless. He only cries for himself, you know? I mean, I can't fathom that he does not understand, like, that his lot, like, people there, I know the truth. They put me in this little hole, in this little box to try to keep me quiet, and I've been quiet for a long time. But Aaron knows that when I speak the truth and only the truth.
And then there's one more part I'm gonna put you at, which starts about 19 minutes in, and she talks about the family secret that she had to keep for years.
For you to talk about it, but I don't want any falsehoods out there created off of what you and I are saying.
It's embarrassing, you know, like,
yeah.
Like why didn't my mother and father do anything about it? And I've been living with the torment my whole life too, of being the one that found out, and I feel like I should have done something more for her.
Did
My
Aaron?
fucking mother wouldn't do a damn thing.
When did Aaron start saying that she did it to him? Was it when she died?
He never even talked about it until like he wanted to jump on this movement with this girl. Never. He wouldn't even discuss it.
Was Leslie dead before when he came out with it?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
he knew better than to do.
So he claimed this. He claimed this
Yeah.
act of rape on your sister, who's deceased. He claimed that he was raped by her, knowing that she couldn't defend herself, and knowing the truth that you're speaking, that he actually raped and molested her. And then he jumped on this movement with this Melissa girl. And together, my opinion is that they formulated this charge of rape on Nick from Melissa, when in all actuality, maybe there was a one-night thing with Melissa and Nick, but I don't believe for a
I
second.
remember those girls in the studio, and they were out slutting their asses all over the place.
Okay, so that is the video. Now, she goes into more detail, but basically she is saying that everything that he is saying about what Leslie did to him, it was the other way around. Leslie was having it done to her by him. She said that it actually tormented Leslie to the point where she wouldn't even talk about it. She said her parents wouldn't help her, and then she finally got Leslie to confess to her what was happening. And she says that she's been carrying this story for years, and that her brother and her mother have been sort of keeping her in a box, trying to silence her. She said that she has not spoken to her brother Nick in years, and she has been dealing with her mother for years, trying to help her mother. But in the middle of all of this, she didn't want her sister's memory to be tarnished. So obviously Leslie can't respond. And it's a he said, she said at this point. But some of the things seem to make sense in relation to, she said that Aaron has a propensity to say anything to get attention, to get people to believe whatever it is that's going on in his life, and that whether or not it's actually true is irrelevant to him. It's that he wants the attention. She said that he will do anything to anyone to get what he wants, and he will spin lies to anyone about anything to get attention, and it doesn't matter if it hurts someone. He has made allegations against her brother, Nick, who she says has no reason to defend because they really don't have a relationship. And then she says that he's the one that does it to Leslie. Given what we've seen so far with text messages that are found by Aaron going to a younger girl, this would kind of line up that maybe there was some behavior going on here. But again, we can't say for sure because Leslie is not here with us. She has passed away. And it is interesting that he would bring this up knowing that she can't defend herself. So at this point, I would say, and would continue to say, that he is probably saying a lot of this stuff and he is not being truthful. Sometimes, in my opinion, people will do this types of behavior when they are hiding their own lies. I don't know. Some of the things that she said were interesting, though, is that he tried to actually get her children taken away from her. So she said that he came down there to save her mother, even though she didn't want to go. And apparently they got into a fight, and his mother was treated like total crap on that trip with Aaron. And he dumped her on the side of the road in Arizona. It wasn't that she didn't want to be dumped. He just left her, abandoned her, and she somehow had to find a way to get home. She said that her mother has her own issues. She has been dealing with them for years, and she's the one that's been taking care of her mother, not Aaron. Given what we're looking at, you've got Lauren, who's Nick's wife, saying things. You've got a judge in California, Angel, saying the same thing. You've got Nick saying the same thing. It's hard for me to believe that it's not true. She says that, and the one other thing that I thought was interesting was she said that at 13 minutes, 10 seconds into this interview, she said that there was a picture of him that was at the hospital. She said that he doctor shops for medication. That was the insinuation that she put out there. He is a known addict. He has been struggling with addiction for years. She said that he is not sober. He has not been sober, and he is not in recovery. So, and that's the same thing that Shane has said, having worked with him. So, it's just, they also addressed the stuff related to the mother, Jane, hitting the dogs. BJ said that the dogs are wild and crazy, and she said that even though she shouldn't have done it, she feels like everything got blown way out of proportion related to what his mother actually did. And that's where we're at. The more and more stuff that keeps getting out about him as more family members are speaking out. Lauren says that his mental health has been declining. BJ is alleging that Shane is alleging that he's an active addict. BJ is alleging that there's something going on with his mental health, and she seems to imply that he has some narcissism here going on. She says over and over, he's the golden child, he knows it, he can get whatever he wants, and he uses that to his advantage. Either way, some people in Aaron's side will say he's being set up. All these people are lying. They're all bullying him. And then people that are detractors of Aaron, that are seeing the decline and witnessing his behaviors will say, well, sometimes where there's smoke, there's fire. Unfortunately, because Leslie isn't here, we will never know her side. So the truth in all of this may never be known unless other family members will come out and confirm BJ's assessment that it was Aaron that did this to her. But it could be true. Nick has been extremely quiet. He's busy raising his kids. He's trying to do the best for his family. I think the family has been right in trying to distance themselves from him while still trying to get him help. And in the meantime, Aaron continues to live stream and put his entire life out there. And I think until he gets offline and gets the help that he needs, these sort of allegations will continue. All right, you guys, I will be back in a little while with more. Let me know what your thoughts are below. Bye.